And that's because if we look at, the path to recovery from an incident involving an endpoint, whenever you have a antivirus in place versus having an EDR solution in place. And these timelines are just broken up in, an order of operation of major actions on top and the sub actions underneath it. And the top one being for AV and the bottom for EDR. And we have the entire chain of an event being detected all the way down to applying lessons learned from that event. And if you have a old-fashioned AV or an endpoint protection platform, when you get to the investigation step, the information it gives you is the time, the date, computer that was affected, the name of the file, potentially a generic descriptor name of the malware, and the action that it took, that it killed it, it quarantined it. But with a lot of solutions, that's about it. That's the end of the useful information you get. So if you want more information, which that's going to be more information that you're going to need to provide, during an incident response, you're going to have to go to use other tools. You're going to have to pull logs from the device, from other devices. You're going to have to go use a forensics tool on the device to try and gather additional information. Whereas if you're using an EDR solution, that telemetry and analytical data about that event is already available in the console. You don't have to step out of the web dashboard and go log into the device and interrupt the user or stop production to gather this information. You already have it. It's there in the console. You can begin to use it. Another distinction is, after you have gathered that information, you have to, and you understand and you've identified an impact, you have to apply the remediations, fix the problem, or fix anything that was done to the system. But standard AV, you don't have anything to assist you there. You have to use other tools. You have to use your own personal skills and scripting or perform manual remediation to undo anything that was done to the system that you discover during the investigation. Whereas with an EDR solution, most of the time those remediations to the endpoint have already been applied. The agents for EDR are able to immediately, after they qualify something as a threat, they can kill and quarantine it, but they can also move into remediation steps and rollback actions without humans having to be involved in the process. That extends out to even, files were modified. Legacy AV solutions, legacy endpoint protection solutions, you would have to restore those modified files from a backup somewhere. Whereas with an EDR solution, a lot of them will give you the ability to simply restore from the local VSS copies on the system. And again, automating that process so you don't have to put an engineer or an incident responder or security analyst in here to do those actions. The system can handle it for you. And you kind of get to two different end states because of the amount and quality of data that you're going to have available to you whenever you're using these different types of solutions. If you have a standard endpoint protection solution in place, at the end of it, the statement you get to make isn't that strong. It's, we don't know everything that happened because we don't have the information to be able to understand everything that happened. And we can't really make no guarantees that we've completely dealt with this whole scenario because, we simply do not have the data available to figure out if this was an isolated event or if this was a part of another chain of an attack somewhere. Versus if you do have an EDR solution that's been recording all of this telemetry and analytical data, you're able to be much more assured in the response you're getting. Like, yes, we have high quality telemetry data, we have high quality analytics data, and reasonably sure we know exactly what happened at these times. Here's the timestamps. Here's whenever we were notified. Here's where we responded to it. Here are the modifications to the system that were made, and here are the modifications that were undone by the remediation. That's putting you in very different situations at the end of that. Because the top one puts you in the situation of if you had to file an insurance claim, there's going to be a lot of additional intelligence gathering that an incident response team would have to do. Versus with the bottom one, well, the information is already there in the console. They can access it. They don't have to spend hours gathering the data. They can immediately support it.